not going to make this. I can just about guarantee we're not going to make this. Yeah, look, we're above the glide slope right now. Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome to a random flight. I don't know what else to call it. This flight is part of a tour over at Mac Air. It is called, hold on, I gotta look it up now. I forgot what it's called. It's actually really cool. You guys will get a kick out of this. In the meantime, while I'm pulling this up over here, today's flight, as you can see, it's going to be a Cargo Lux 747-8. And we are going to be flying from Phoenix. Now, this is a tour. I didn't pick this one, so I know I picked Phoenix a lot, but I didn't pick this. We're flying from Phoenix all the way out to Schiphol. I don't know how you say it. We're flying to Amsterdam. I think I'm just going to stick with saying Amsterdam from now on. So it's KPHX to EHAM or EHAM all the way out in Amsterdam. Now this is part of a tour that just popped up over at Mac Air. And these tours are really cool, but this one really grabbed my attention. Listen to what this is called. This is called the Circadian Rhythm Killer Tour. Let me explain to you. Today's most advanced airliners can stay in the air for nearly a full day. These long flights create stress on the human body by messing with our internal clocks. It's a disruption to our circadian rhythms, which we commonly refer to as jet lag. Some of the longest flights flown today can see 2 sunrises and sunsets on the flight, which can really throw the rhythms out of whack. This is the Circadian Rhythm Killer Tour. It contains some of the longest routes flown by airlines today. And then it goes on to say, pay attention to the aircraft because they're not all the same, and they're not. We'll fly different ones throughout this. This will be an endurance tour and take some time to complete, exceeding 100,000 nautical miles and 300 total flight hours. How freaking, like I saw that, I was like, oh, that's for me. So we're doing the first flight today, and originally I was actually just gonna fly it for fun off to the side. I thought, nah, you guys would really get a kick out of this. So it's just a random flight, and I figured I'd do it on here. So our first flight today is going to be in a Cargo Lux 747-800 from Phoenix to Amsterdam. And then from so that's 4,701 nautical miles. And then it's a little tiny short hop in a 737 from Amsterdam over to Frankfurt, Maine. Alright, and then from there you're hopping in a 777-200, and that's going to be 5,376 miles from there to Kuala Lumpur. And then from there it's from Kuala Lumpur to Rio Galileo. I'm not sure where that is, but it's 8,452 nautical miles. Then the next flight after that's 4,983, and then it's a 777-200, 9,200 nautical miles. I think that's the longest one on here too. It is 9,200 miles. All right, and then it's 8646, and there's another short hop, 660, then 8436, 3357, and on it goes. And this thing is just all about screwing with your internal clock. And it's going to get the job done, I can guarantee that to you. So, we got a long way to go. We're looking at a little over 10 hours of flight time for this one, which isn't too terribly bad. So what do you say we climb up in the office, get the paperwork sorted, and get going? Alrighty folks, welcome to the flight deck. As we get ready to dive in here, let's take a look at our EFB here and our flight plan for the day. So again, it's Phoenix all the way out to Schiphol. I'm never going to be able to say that right. We're going to be Cargolux Flight 2100. Our air distance is 4,448 nautical miles. Good stuff. We're going to start out at flight level 290, but we were going to get all the way up to 350 eventually. Our trip fuel is 258,549 pounds. Final reserve fuel at 12,030 pounds. Block fuel is 300,030 pounds. Good stuff. Let's run down here a little bit. So we're scheduled for 9 hours, 55 minutes. We've got 252,500 pounds of cargo on board for a total payload of 254,400 pounds. Our zero fuel weight is 689,000 pounds. So we are nice and heavy, and this is going to be one heck of a flight. So with all of that in mind, let's start taking a look at what we got going to get this aircraft up and running. You can see we're powered on the aircraft already. This is the state that we are receiving the aircraft in 99% of the time now. Unless we're doing a full flight tutorial, you will not see me going from cold and dark anymore, or rarely will you see me go from cold and dark. So that being said, there is a full flight tutorial on this aircraft. I'll try to remember to link it in the top right up over here. If you don't see it up over there, you can just type it in on my channel. You'll find it, no problem. Okay, battery needs to be on, which it should be, but let's just check. Yep, the battery is on. And there's a flow to this that's really pretty simple, guys. So we're gonna start right here with the battery. You know what? I'm just gonna read the list because it's just the way I do it. So standby power needs to be on auto, which it is. Bus tie switches need to be on auto, which they are. Generator control switches are all on. Hydraulic demand pump switches 1 through 3 are off. And then hydraulic demand pump switch 4 is on auxiliary. That's these guys down here. So this one goes to auxiliary, and then those 3 stay off. Engine hydraulic pump selectors all go on. That's these 4 down here, and they are. External power switch 1 and 2 on if available, but we left number 2 off so that the cargo door, the nose door, will operate. Alright, we don't need panel lights right now. EEC switches are all on. That's these guys up here, and they're all normal. Utility power left and right are both on. That's these 2 right here. We do need our nav lights on. They're already on. The rest of our lights are off, so we're good with that. Emergency lights need to be armed, which they are right here. IRS alignment is next, so right click it once and then twice up to nav, and then left click it once back over to align, and then we'll go down and take care of the FMS here in a couple of minutes. Actually, it tells us to do it right now, so let's just go down there and take care of business. Alright, so click on FMC. Make sure that you've got the right model in there, right engines, all that, which it should be anyway, and then make sure your AIRAC cycle's up to date. That's the main thing there. Go to position initialization, type in your reference airport. We can get our spoilers out of the way for the moment. KPHX. There's the X right there. We're not going to put a gate in there. Stop telling me to do that. So right now GPS is telling us we're at 3325. You can grab this one here. You can grab this one here. Usually most folks will go to page 2. They'll grab one of these. You can also go to page 3. These, as long as it's a GPS position you're grabbing, you're pretty much good on this. But the big thing is when you put this in, you got 3326, 112, 0. You want to make sure that this is close to whichever one you grab. So we'll grab this one here. That'll work just fine. And there we go. Let's see. Moving on. So that takes care of initialization on the FMC. We don't need to do anything else with it yet. So let's hop back up top here. Our fuel pumps should all be off. Crossfeed should all 4 be on. That's these 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nacelle anti-ice and wing anti-ice are both off. Window heat needs to come on. This is the nacelle and wing anti-ice right here. Yaw dampers should be on. Those guys are up over here. APU switch, we're not going to start it quite yet. Passenger, we don't have passengers, but all of our temps should be on auto, which is the 12 o'clock position. Equipment cooling is closed and guarded. Excuse me. Trim air both on. All 3 of the packs can go on at this point. Your isolation switches should both be on. And then the bleeds for engine and APU on, and then lights. And actually we don't want to dim it, we want to test it. So test, hold, off to the side. Look down here, all the lights are working, and they went off because I let go of the switch. But there you go, our lights are working, so they look good. And then we also want to do our fire overheat test while we're up here. Just hold it till it stops. There we go, fantastic. And that takes care of all of our cockpit acceptance or cockpit preparation, whatever terminology you want to use. Alright, so as you can see, our IRS alignment is complete. I'm pretty sure it's set to instant, which is not my preference. I just never bothered to change it. So if we actually we got to hop up top first. Just click these back over to nav, right click them each once. If you left click them to off, you're going to have to redo it, so just keep that in mind. And that takes care of the IRS alignment, and that is now complete. So let's dive in. We need to jump back here real quick and go to ACARS, pre-flight. And then we're going to type in our origin of Phoenix, right there. And then our destination is EHAM, E-H-A-M. Put that in right there. Estimated time of departure is... I don't know. What is our estimated time of departure? What time is it right now? It is 1951 Zulu, so I'm going to say 2015 Zulu. That'll probably work. And then time en route estimated is 9 hours 55 minutes. We're just going to put it at 10 hours. There we go. ATC flight ID. We are Cargo Lux, which is CLX. And we're flight 2100. There we go. And let's take care of this while I'm staring at it, or I will forget, because I always do. Remember, the test is internal with this thing. Okay, so taking care of that data link, what that should do is that should make it easier to do this. I don't know if it really does or not, to be honest with you. I'm really wondering, is PMDG ever actually going to do anything with the global flight operations, or is that just a big tease? Because, you know, it's been a while now, right? Anyway, moving on. Route. So it's got the route in there, right? But there's no waypoints in there. So if you type it in the company route, KPHX, EHAM, EHAM, and then I didn't put any number designator. Just put that right there. We'll have to redo the flight number, but we'll activate it, execute it, and we should be good to go. So it'll be CLX 2100. There we go. And now you can see we got 6 pages, 6 route pages going on there. So let's do our departure arrival real quick. It's going to be, double check here, Marble 1 out to JARPA. So let's find Marble 1. Marble 1 out to JARPA. And what's our weather looking like here? We are looking at probably taking runway 8, which would make sense anyway. It's the longest runway. Let's see, wind is 300 at 4 knots, 10 statute miles visibility, altimeter 2983. So any way you shake it, the wind's going to be coming off either our right or our left. Honestly, it seems to me it would make more sense with the wind at 300 to take runway 26 rather than 8. Yeah, so we're going to take runway 26. I don't know why I'm getting the suggestion to take runway 8. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Let's take runway 26. Alright, execute that. And now, if you go to your route page, again, you got 6 pages. There's your Marble 1. You got all these direct. There was supposed to be, there's a couple of airways in there, and so on. If you go to your legs page, there's 9 pages in there, right? Good stuff. So, go over to performance initialization. Let's go ahead and confirm our zero fuel weight, 689,000 pounds. We said reserve fuel was supposed to be 12,030 pounds. We'll just put an even 12,000 in there. That should work out nicely. Cruise altitude is ultimately going to be 350, but we're going to put it at 290 first, because that's where we're starting out. And then we'll be step climbing, and then we'll be doing 85 on the cost index. And if we move along here, it's going to, we're heavy. So we're going to be doing a full takeoff, full climb, and we're going to be doing flaps 20 on takeoff. And I'm sure we'll get up without any problem, but that's what we're going to do. Center of gravity is 22%, V1 at 160, VR at 171, and V2 at 179, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's no kidding right there, all right? And that takes care of our FMC setup and flight planning. Alrighty folks, pressing right along here. We've already set our squawk code. Our altimeter needs to be set, and I forgot what it was already, so let me just check over here. Altimeter is 2983, so let's put that on here. 29843. There we go. Just double check. It did set on both sides, and it's set on there as well. And then we'll be doing QNH or hectopascals when we get over to the other side of the pond. But anyway, altimeter is set. Flight directors can come on. Auto throttle is already armed. We said we're 179 on here, so it's going to be 184. I think that's the highest V2 we've ever had. Our heading's going to be 273, I think it is. I'll double check it here in a second. I went the wrong way. I should have gone the other way. I think it's 273. Let me just double check here real quick. It is... yeah, I wasn't even close. It's 258. Where did I get 273 from? Like, not even close. Top altitude for this area is going to be 8,000. You'll see during our departure briefing we can expect at a certain point to get a higher altitude clearance. So we'll just start out at 8,000 and that will work out nicely for us. LNAV and VNAV can both be armed. Just a quick note, this flight is scheduled for a 747-400, but over at Mac Air you can obviously substitute the 800 for the 400. So just something to keep in mind if you want to come over and fly with us. Let's see, autopilot disengage bar is up. Fuel control switches are in the cutoff position. We can't do anything with trim right now. Auto brake needs to go to RTO. There it is, TCAS switch. It can go to standby now, so it does the test internally, so you can just put it to transponder mode from standby, and then just remember it's 2 clicks from there up. And then the TCAS biasing mode is supposed to go to above, so left click that and it goes to above. Fasten seatbelt signs, right click those to put them on auto. Flight deck door closed and locked, and we're actually just about ready to start closing up doors. So let's push this button right here. That's for traffic on here, and it tells us the TCAS is off. I'm going to pop this up for you here so you can see it a little clearer. Go to FS actions, doors, all our cargo's loaded up. So let's close up the doors, close the nose, close the side. If it says close, that's what it's telling you to do. If it says open, that's what it's telling you to do. So don't click on the ones that say open. Click on the ones that say close. There we go. And then go back here to ground connections. We need to, not ground connections, service vehicles. We need to release that nose cargo vehicle, otherwise it won't close the nose door. Now we can go to ground connections, and we'll leave those connected for the moment, and that takes us all the way up to our engine startup and pushback checklist. Alrighty, so as the nose cargo door finishes closing there, let's take a look at our built-in checklist here, because I forget these all the time. We did check our oxygen, you guys just weren't here for it. Flight instruments, the heading is set to 258, and altimeter was, what was it, 2983? Yep, 2983 on that, so we're good. Parking brake, is it still set? No, it's not. Sometimes it's like it disconnects it on its own when the wheel chocks get put in. Anyway, moving on. What else here? MCP V2 is set to 179 plus 5, so 184. Heading is 258, and altitude is set to 8,000. Takeoff speeds, V1 is 160, VR is 171, V2 is 179. CDU pre-flight is complete. Trim is not done yet. We can't do it until we have hydraulics going, and that brings us up to our taxi and takeoff briefing. Bring it over to Sim Toolkit Pro, probably the best EFB for flight sim I think I've ever seen. Keep in mind I don't get paid to do that, to say that. I really love this program, and it's free, guys. If you're not using it yet, I don't know why. Alright, let's take a look at our taxi here first. We are looking at ATIS is on 127.575, clearance on 18.1. Ground for us, we're on the south side down here. Cargo is 132.55. And then runway 26 is going to be 118.7 for the tower. That's going to be up over here. So for our taxi, we're going to come out here on hotel and take it down to Hotel 7. Cross over 7 right, 25 left. And then at Foxtrot 10, we'll cross 25 right, 7 left. Taxi across. Now we should be crossing on Tango, not Sierra, but a lot of times the AI traffic uses the other side. Cross over to Charlie. All the way down here to Bravo 13, hold short of runway 26. Now taking a look at our departure, it is going to be the Marble 1 RNAV departure for us today. Let me zoom in a little here for you and show you what's going on. So runway 26, this guy over here is going to be out to Hervu. So you've got 3 different waypoints here. That's why they have this little graphic. And then from there, we're going to hang a right turn out to Z-Dog. maximum of 230 knots. We're going to be going faster than that. We're going to have to be. Well, it's going to depend on our flap setting, but we can get an allowance or an exception to fly over 250 knots below 10,000 when we're super heavy. But we do need to be at or above 5,000 feet. Then it's a slight right to 002 degrees out to oxygen, another right out to Zilbub. That's at 035 degrees, slight right to 041 degrees out to Marble, and then that's going to take us up out here, and we're going to be going out to Jarpa on this one. So when we get to Yotes, we'll turn right to 033 degrees and out to Jarpa, and we can start our climb there. In fact, we may even start it sooner than that, because let's see, our highest altitude in this area is 8,515 feet, right? So when they say 3 minutes after departure, expect a higher altitude, I mean, you're talking by Zilbub, they need to be giving us a higher altitude anyway. So we will probably start to climb somewhere between Zilbub and Marble so that we can make sure that we don't have any issues with the terrain over here. All right. Let's see, Phoenix departure on 19.2, transition altitude is 18,000 feet. There are some obstacles that we need to look at here. For 26, runways 25 left, right, and 26. Standard or lower than standard if authorized, with a minimum climb 500 feet per nautical mile to 1635, which shouldn't be a problem for us. And then this here is basically everything we just talked about. And that takes care of your taxi and departure briefings. Alrighty then, folks, let's just knock out the last of this checklist here. Beacon needs to go on both before we push back, so we can just hop up here real quick and left click it down to both, and now when you come back down you can see the checklist is complete, and that takes us on there up to our before taxi checklist. But we still need to go ahead and take care of our pushback. So let's call up GSX here and prepare for pushback and departure. I think I even have one of those quick edit pushbacks on here. And let's talk about the engine start. We've done it a bunch of times, but it's pretty straightforward. So gangway is disabled, doors are closed. We can verify that. You go to your doors page. Side cargo is not closed. Why is it not closed? Didn't we press the button to close it? Doors, next page, close. I don't understand why that didn't close, but that would explain why GSX didn't bother to move. And that's why we check it, right? So once that's done closing, our doors will be good. We need to go back over to ground connections. Oh, we do need to turn on the APU, so we'll take advantage of the time we have to do that. Because I don't start the APU right away, sometimes I forget, which of course is never good, right? We got a lot of fuel, so we're going to actually need all of these, including these on, I believe. And then I think we got fuel in the center, right? Yeah, we got some fuel in the center. It just shows the total on here. Okay, so the doors are now closed. Let's try waiting for other services to complete boarding. What are you talking about? Cargo loading in progress. Come on, GSX, you're killing me here. Where's cargo loading in progress? Is this guy not done over here? You gotta be stinking kidding me, man. Unbelievable. I guess I gotta reopen that door, don't I? Side cargo door opening. Unbelievable. Alrighty, folks, well, I'll be back in just a minute. We'll have the APU up and running. Hopefully they'll get the rest of the cargo in. I have no idea why that one spot is taking so long to load the cargo, but we'll be back shortly. Alrighty, they finally cleared out of there. Let's hop in here and finish this up, shall we? Alright, so we should be able to close that door now. While that's closing, let's hop up top here. Hydraulic demand pump selectors 1 through 3 all need to go to auto. 4 stays on auxiliary. Pack 1 stays on. 2 and 3 need to go off. Isolation valves stay open. Bleed air switches all need to be open. Jump down here. Still waiting for that door to close. We need to put this on the engines page, but we'll just wait till the door finishes closing so we don't have any issues there. And while we're waiting on that, let's ask them again. Boarding completed. Have a good trip. Where is my... It's not giving me the option for pushback. What the heck is going on? Sometimes GSX really ticks me off. Okay, boarding's completed. No jetways. Operate stairs no longer available. I don't need a fuel truck. Don't need catering service. That's awesome. And is there... What is the deal here? Everything's ready to go except frickin' GSX. Everything but frickin' GSX is ready to go. It's so obnoxious to me that I have to frickin' deal with this crap. You pay money for a product and then you gotta jump through hoops to get the stupid product to work. It's frickin' annoying. Am I the only one annoyed by this? Because I'm really getting sick and tired of jumping through hoops for products that I paid money for, you know, and they want to tell you, oh, just do this, do that, do this, do that. I shouldn't have to do this and that. I paid money for a frickin' product. Make the frickin' product work properly. Don't take my money and then give me a product that doesn't work right. Why wouldn't it work? There was no reason for it not to work. But no, it didn't want to work. Stupid. Tired of this crap. Alright, I'm done complaining now. Alright, let's go to the engines page here. You guys are probably like, ooh, there's a different type of rant. Yeah, they get that way sometimes.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Yeah, thanks. I've been waiting on you, butthead. Alright, put that on the FMC, on the legs page. Should be good to go. There is no continuous ignition switch in this one. And
locking gear.
What else? Yeah, so we'll start 1 and 4 at the same time, and then we'll start 2 and 3. We just need Knucklehead down here to finish up so that we can start pushing. So we're just waiting on him now. So let's just sit here in silence. Let's have a moment of silence for stupidity. Oh my gosh. You gotta be freaking kidding me. This is gonna mess up my A-cars, watch. I mean, I only saved this pushback like 10 frickin' times. Oh wait, it's GSX. It only works sometimes. Right? Now watch. I'm gonna get a warning.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release sparking brakes.
Shockingly, I didn't get a warning on my A-cars. I don't know why my view didn't go back where it's supposed to be.
Release parking brakes.
I'll release the parking brakes when I'm ready there, bub. Why on earth is this phone ringing? Good lord. Okay.
Release parking
Shut up.
brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Well, this has been fun, hasn't it? Let's start 1 and 4. No, I said 1 and 4. Thank you. Boy, we are just on a roll right now, aren't we? I suppose we can put those spoilers back down at this point. What was it beeping at me for? Because the spoilers? It doesn't normally beep when you first start the engines, right? Who knows? Alright. Goodness gracious, people. And now there's nothing to do but sit here and watch. I do love the Cargo Lux livery, don't you guys? I really like the one that's just like all white. It doesn't have the stripes down the side. That is probably, I don't know why, just the really clean liveries, I really like them. I mean, some of the more complex ones, they look alright, but like KLM is a great example. They have a gorgeous livery on that aircraft, and it's so simple. It's just blue with KLM and white. That's it. A few little, you know, basically decal looking things here and there, and that's it, right? Alright, how we looking here? We're running on 1, waiting for number 4 there. Still waiting on number 4. Alright, it's running now. Let's go to 2 and 3.
Set parking brakes.
I'll set it when I'm ready there, bub. 2, there we go. Alright.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Alright, so let's just wait on 2 and 3 to start up there. Alrighty, we're just about running on engine number 3 there. Let's go ahead and get GSX out of here. I'm going to move this window a little bit. There we go. They should start pulling off. And we can start looking at our after start checklist here. We can begin by turning the APU off. There we go. That'll start spooling down. This guy can go to auto now. What else we got on here? Packs all need to go to normal. There we go. Hydraulic command pump selector, we already did that one. Or pump switch. Engine and wing anti-ice, we don't need those on. It's Phoenix. It's really hot here. Main display check for warnings. Just the TCAS being off there. Take a look at our checklist down here. And anti-ice is good. Recall is good. Flaps need to go to 20. We are seriously heavy. We do need to check flight controls, so let's take care of that. And we're also going to need to set our trim. So let's start with the trim first. Trim needs to be what? 6.8. There we go, 6.8, and then flight control check. So we'll go full left, full right. I'm supposed to do it kind of slow, but it's a simulator. All the way up, all the way down. And let's check those rudders. Full left.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Full right. And neutral. And I'm just going to double check, make sure A-Cars is running like it should be. It is indeed. We are at 10 minutes. No. We are at 5 minutes of flight time, or time already. Okay, flight control check is complete. Put this back on the engine page. And what else we got here? That is it. We are ready to taxi out. Track arc coming on, a little jump here. There it is. That was actually a pretty big jump, wasn't it? Okay, we need to reset that view. There we go. So I've been trying to change it so that when you look, it's where your head would be. Like, we should be able to look out that window. I think maybe I have it just a little too far forward. If I, let's see, let's turn track R off for a second. I think maybe right about there would probably be good, right? That's probably, I think like right there is probably good. So let me save that camera spot. I've been trying to do this with all my cameras to get them in the right spots. It's just kind of hard because you got to zoom it out when you do that, right? Otherwise, you know, so we're better there. I think we're still honestly a little too far forward. I don't know. Let's just zoom it out to right there, and then let's zoom in the view just a little bit, and that should actually be right there. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. So that's like where your head would actually be, right? And that's the way you want it. So it's just getting that zoom and whatnot right. Okay, enough talky talk. Brakes coming off. Make sure they're off. They are. Bring in a little thrust, and as you can see, my throttles are never even. Let's start rolling this bad boy out. We do need to get the lights on. Runway turn off lights, taxi lights, and we can also turn on the wing lights. Let's throw the logo lights on. We'll leave the strobe lights off for now. We're super heavy, so it's going to take some work to get her going here, but she's starting to roll. I doubt that you guys want to sit here and stare at a windscreen while I taxi, but I'll tell you what, I usually just cut the taxi out. I'm going to cut it out on this one too. However, if you guys actually like watching me taxi around the airfield, let me know and I'll keep it in. Alright folks, holding short of the runway here. Let's go ahead and get our TCAS on really quick. 1, 2. Make sure there's no traffic coming inbound here that we can't see because of the simulator limitations. And it looks like there's one guy coming in. Hopefully he's the only one. There's another there. Yeah, that's AI traffic for you, isn't it? We can just make him out right there. So while he's coming in, let's just take a look at what else we got here. Landing lights will come on here shortly. Strobe lights, flaps are set and checked, and that is it until we're ready to actually go. So what do you say we watch them come in real quick? I'll speed everything up, and then once they land, we'll get out there and go. Is it just me, or did that second airplane come in really slow? Alright. Well, for you guys it probably looked pretty fast anyway because I had it sped up there, but let's get these lights on. And strobe lights, let's get those on as well. And let's get out on the runway, shall we? We needed to burn a couple thousand pounds of fuel anyway because we were 2,000 pounds over our maximum takeoff weight when we first loaded up. So we've definitely burned that now. So we should be good to go. And of course we use this further out entryway because we need all the runway we can get. I have a feeling we're going to get off the ground with no problem. but just to play it safe, we're taking up the extra space back here on the displaced threshold portion of the runway. He's still getting off. Nobody else coming in. That's good. Alright, we'll just sneak her on here. And because this is a displaced threshold, our RAS is not giving us a notification yet. They are so slow to get off the runway, aren't they? My goodness. This is the longer runway, so that's part of the reason we chose it. Well, that's the main reason we chose it. Otherwise, why not just take off from the other side? I think we got plenty of runway. I think we're going to be surprised at the power we get out of the airplane here. Let's wait for him to finish clearing there, and then we'll go. Checklist, incompatible, normal. What's that talking about? Let's track our off real quick and go up here to checklist. What's incompatible? Is it because we didn't finish that, maybe? Flaps are good. That's our after takeoff checklist. Oh yeah, that was a notification because we hadn't finished our checklist. I've never noticed that before. Alright. You guys ready to go? That was a big jump there. Here we go. Just make sure those are even because they don't like to be. Put them up. Let them stabilize. Release the brakes. Toga. Oh, she's slow to get going, isn't she, boys? Boys and girls.
On runway 26.
Alright, airspeed is alive. Oh yeah, look at that. She's coming up slow. This bird is heavy. Alright.
80 knots.
Check. Come on, baby. Get a move on. Oh man, that's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
V1.
We're gonna use this whole stinking runway.
V2.
That would be nerve-wracking in real life. Look at that.
V1.
Woo.
Rotate.
Yikes. Look at that.
Taxiway. On taxiway.
We barely, I mean,
Ready to climb.
whew. It said on taxiway because of the displaced threshold. I've seen the British Airways 747 take off here, and I've seen the same thing where it literally its landing gear scrapes the dirt beyond the edge of that displaced threshold. So, boy, we used up every square inch of that runway, huh? That was nice. I enjoyed that. That was great. Boy, I was nervous. I didn't think we were going to get there. I didn't think we were going to make it for a minute there. Look how heavy we are. I mean, we are just so heavy right now. I mean, we're like right at our max takeoff weight, guys. That's just crazy, isn't it? We're climbing slow too. Look how slow we're climbing. 1,600 feet per minute. We can't even get up to 200 knots right now. Woo! Can't even start bringing up flaps yet. You got to get over 1,600 feet before you can even do anything. There we go. There's 1,600 feet. There's thrust reduction. Bring in a little bit of nose down trim here. There we go. Looking pretty good though. We're super heavy, that's for sure. Oh, that was quite the takeoff, huh, guys? Alright. So we're going to be a minute here trying to get flaps up because we got to get our speed up. I mean, look, we're barely climbing right now. It's a good thing that's a gentle turn. Alright, we can bring the flaps up to 10 now. There's that turn start. Watch out the nose doesn't drop on you, because it'll try to. trying to drop for sure. Remember, we're at flaps 10 right now. There's the FMC message. Unable next altitude. Oh no, we'll be fine. It's just unable right now, but we're gonna burn a lot of fuel here. Because we're going to 290. Alright. Start rolling out here nice and easy. That nose up just a little bit. There we go, looking good. Following the flight director, guys. Oh yeah, we're looking beautiful here, huh? Look at that. Just came right out of it. Just purdy as you please. Just a little nose down trim there. Get that speed up a little more. Alright, let's go ahead and let's engage the autopilot now. There we go. The autopilot does a little bit better job than I do. It doesn't have to have feel. Yeah, it's saying unable next altitude. What is that saying? Let's see. Next altitude is... We can get to 5,000. What are you talking about? Smoking crack. Of course we can get to 5,000 feet. We're almost there. Boy, it's a slow climb though, eh? I've been hanging out with Pat again. That's why you hear me saying, eh? Let's go to flaps 5. And you can see our speed already. We're over 250. So we're just so heavy that we have to be flying faster. And of course we got to get our flaps up. We're not going to just keep flying with flaps down. So we would get an exception to be able to fly faster below 10,000 feet because of our weight, right? I think that makes sense to everybody. So let's zoom this out just a little bit further there. And we can go to flaps 1 now. Oh yeah, she's struggling, boys and girls. She's just struggling. I mean, we're still, I mean, look at the thrust is almost maxed out right now. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, we're barely above the ground here. That's a beautiful thing. I have, like I said, I've seen that British Airways 747. It's a 400, but I've seen it take off on that runway loaded down. And I've watched its tires, its main landing gear, scrape across that dirt as they rotate across that displaced threshold. It is something to see, man. That would be, in real life, that would be seriously nerve-wracking. Flaps coming up now. Looking good. She's climbing. We're getting a little speed going now. We need it. Alright, the flaps are up, the gear is up. Let's take a look at this climb checklist now. Landing taxi lights will take care of when we get to 10,000. TCAS biasing mode can go to neutral now. So just give that a right click once there and you're good to go on that. And let's see, gear up, flaps up, everything is good to go other than turning the landing lights off. So that takes care of our after takeoff checklist after a beautiful struggle to get her in the air. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, you guessed it, it is time for some of that obligatory elevator music. Alrighty folks, we're going to be coming up on the top of the descent here pretty quick. I hope that you enjoyed the little bit of extra cruise music. I figured it's such a long flight, why not throw it in there? And it has been a long one. It's been nearly 10 hours. So let's take care of a few things we got to do here before we start the descent. We're just going to come up here pretty quick. Let's see, I just want to double check something over here. I was just going over our arrival and whatnot, and what I'm seeing here is we do have a hard altitude of 7,000 feet. So because I tend to talk a lot, I'm just going to put this at 7,000 so she can start the descent in case I'm still talking when that time comes. Makes sense, right? It's probably a smart move. Otherwise I'll shoot right past the top of the descent. Alright, let's jump down here to our departures and arrivals page. And we need to choose our approach, and I've decided, because the wind is variable at 4 knots, so I have no idea which runway they're actually using, so I'm going to go with the ILS runway 6, and we've already got our approach. Our arrival's already programmed in there. Bear with me, it's a little early in the morning at this point, so and I just want to see here, so just trying to cover life. You know, at Schiphol, it is Amsterdam, there's a lot going on at that airfield, and I'm a little bummed out. Because I have the add-on airport for this from Fly Tampa, and I've flown into it before and it looks great, and I can't get it to work properly in this sim, in P3D version 4.5. I can't get it to work right. And so I've got some of their library items, and I've got default runways and taxiways and stuff. This is really actually kind of, it just sucks. I really wish it had the proper, I wish that scenery was working. Anyway, what do we need here? I'm trying to, let me get my brain to work here. Let's see, KAG, ARTA to, I honestly don't know which one of these we want to use, to be honest with you. This approach is kind of interesting. So it's kind of like a circle to land approach is what it looks like. But that's not really what we want to do, right? I mean, we could do that, but it looks a little crazy to me. I don't know. It's a little early in the morning. Okay, what we're going to do for now is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take it just straight as is, and I'll show you guys the approach here. There we go. That was kind of weird, like I had to hit it twice. Okay, going over our legs page here, and let's see, Lamzo, Etpos, and then Sugol. These are coming up in a little bit, by the way. And then it's C106. So this is where I got thrown off a little bit. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's put this on plan. And then let me pop these both up for you guys so you can see what we got going on here. Alright, so you can see there's out to Sugol. And then the way that the approach is set up, and you'll see this when we do the approach briefing here in a few minutes, there's actually so there's a VOR over here, and I know you can put those on here, right? No, it's not going to be that one. Anyway, right over the center of the airfield, there's a VOR, right? And so the way that this approach is set up is you come out to the Schiphol NDB, which is going to be out here, and then you do a circle to land. But it doesn't look like you have to do a circle to land. You get where I'm coming from? So I don't know, guys. My brain's not working. It's still really early. So I could just connect the two of these like that. That's going to make for a pretty sharp turn if you ask me. So the final approach course is 58 degrees. So let's see, minus 180 is what? I do not do back courses well at all. Let's see, 227. Oh my god, it's way too early for this, you guys. I'm telling you right now. Ugh. Okay, either way, I'm going to set up a couple other waypoints out here, give us a little room to work, because, I mean, you're talking there's 1 mile from here, and 6 miles from there. That's 7 miles. It's not bad, but having a little room to work wouldn't be too bad. Alright. I have spent way too much time on this, and I feel like I know that I'm just absolutely bumbling through it right now. This is what a long flight will do to you, right? My circadian rhythm is out of whack. Okay, enough talking. What else we gotta do here? Let's go over. Oh, we do need to take care of our initial reference, or our approach reference. So listen, we're still really heavy. All right, our gross weight right now is 751,000 pounds, and our max. What's our max? I'm gonna pull it up over here real quick. Landing weight. So our max landing weight is 763,000 pounds. We're estimated to be landing at 728,000 pounds. We're heavy, so we're going to need full flaps on this for sure. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select that one. Hopefully that'll come down on speed a little bit. We are going to have lots of runway to work with, so that'll be nice anyway. Okay, what else we got here? We're almost on the top of descent. We've changed our altitude setting on there. And we're good on here, but we do need to do our arrival and our approach briefing. So let me bring those up for you here real quick. If I can get them squared away. And I apologize for the soup sandwich we got going on this morning, you guys. Alright, it's going to be the Lamzo 2A arrival for us today. ATIS is going to be on 108.4 or 32.980. Airport elevation is minus 11 feet. That's something to keep in mind. And it says that transition level is by ATC. That reminds me, we didn't change our transition altitude. Our transition altitude is going to be, I think it's 3,000 feet here. So let's make sure we adjust that really quick. Where is it? Transition, speed transition, and the descent. I just did this the other day too. Ooh, man, I am having a hard time this morning. I don't think it's this one, right? Didn't it? Isn't it? It's line select key. Oh man, I must be missing something here, guys. Alright, I'm going to put it on here for the moment, but I'm certain that that's not the right page for it. Can't tell you why I'm having such a hard time. I'm just tired, that's all it is. This is what will happen to you when you get really tired, right? For some reason I have in my head that it should be on this page right here. But it's not. I don't know. Okay. Doesn't matter. Don't mess with it. Let's get back to this arrival briefing. So I do apologize. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of soup sandwich. I promise by the time we land, I'm going to be good to go here. All right. So we're going to be coming in at Lamzo at or above 23,000, down to Etpost, then a left turn 101 degrees down here to Sugal. That's where I put our 7,000 foot floor at, and then from there we'll go on to the approach. Now let's take a look at that, because I want you to see what I was talking about here. So first of all, up here, our briefing strip. It's going to be the ILS runway 6 approach for us today. ATIS is 108.4 or 32.980. Approach, we're going to call it 19.055, and then arrival on 18.405. And then tower is going to be 30, any one of these for tower, depending on what they put us on. And then 121.705 for ground, which I'm shocked they don't have a lot more ground frequencies considering how crazy this airport is. Okay, localizer frequency is 110.55 with a final approach course of 58 degrees. There is no altitude published for glide slope. Intercept should be a Cat 1 ILS, and the airport elevation is minus 11 feet. For missed approach, climb on track 058 to 2,000 feet, inform ATC immediately. Here's your transition altitude, 3,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude 1,700 over here, 2,300 here, and 1,700 here as well. Now here's what I was talking about. It shows you coming over the VOR here, 227 degree track out to the NDB. That's a left turn to 158 and then a circling circle back around here to, I guess, this isn't really a circle to land though, is it? I mean, is that what this is called? I don't think so. This is an ILS approach. Anyway, you would circle back around here, and you can see they kind of depicted that here, coming around to 058 degrees. So I don't know, that's a little crazy. It looks to me like we're going to end up coming straight in. I'm just wondering why that's set up like that. Is there a reason for that to be set up? Like, is that a necessity or what? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way it's published on here, right? So, and there's simultaneous approaches on runway 9, 18 center, 18 right, 27, or 36 right, may be executed while flying this approach, which is a little crazy. And so it's got, at the VOR, it's got your flight level at 7,000 feet, and then at LCTR, like, I don't even know what LCTR is. I don't see it on the planning portion here. You guys get where I'm coming from? So I'm a little, I gotta be honest, I'm a little confused by this approach chart. So I'm gonna look at this a little bit more. But yeah, you see it says you start your turn 1 minute after LCTR. So, but this isn't LCTR, right? This is the Schiphol NDB. Okay, so it's throwing me off, that's for sure. But let's finish up here. Pappy lights on the left-hand side, and that's the gist of it. So we're gonna get going on this approach here. We should already be on the descent. I have been an absolute wreck of a soup sandwich this morning, but I promise to get my act together as we press on here. So once we get a little closer to this, I'll come back on here and I will let you know what I've decided, how we're going to do it and all that good stuff, and then off we'll go. So I'll see you back here shortly. Alrighty folks, we're coming up on it pretty quick here, just descend below 10,000 feet, and I brought you out just a hair earlier than I initially intended because I thought descending through the clouds always looks really cool, and I wanted you guys to be able to join me for that. We've already got our landing lights on. We just dropped below 10,000. You can see the little yellow standard where the altimeter goes. Apparently where I switched the oh, stop, it'll slow down fine. Apparently over here on the VNAV page where I changed the transition altitude on page 1 is not the correct spot. So you can see I put transition altitude here as 3,000 feet, and I'm telling you, I don't remember where it is. My friend Jerry told me, and I just did it the other day, I think on the 777 in a video I was doing, and now I can't seem to figure it out. So that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. So we're still going to be flaps 30, 160 knots coming in, and I have decided after some careful consideration that so I can't even put the Schiphol NDB in there. I looked and tried, and maybe it's just because it's early and I'm just not able to focus properly or something, but I decided to just add a custom waypoint a little further out to give us a little bit of room to work, and then we're going to do a straight in approach. Now that may not be the right way to do this, and for those of you who are really familiar with this airport, do me a favor, put some info down in the comments, because I want to fly in here more, especially when I get my my scenery working properly. This is a really cool airport, so I could use a little feedback from somebody who knows this airfield better at the best way to fly this approach and how to set it up and so on, because when you put it in, just put it directly in the FMC, it doesn't come up properly, which kind of stinks actually. Anyway, enough talk about that. Again, our transition altitude will be 3,000 feet, so we got a little ways to go. Let's take a look at our initial approach checklist here. The ATIS has been obtained. We have accomplished the approach briefing. We haven't done our decision height yet, which is going to be 189 feet. Now I just want to double check. I'm going to pull up my active sky window over here. I just want to double check our visibility here. So visibility is 2.8 statute miles, low visibility. So we probably are going to be doing Cat 2 here. Let's see, runway visual range for Cat 2 is 200 meters. I'm not used to doing things in meters. So that is, and we got 4,500 on visibility, 4,500 meters. So we're definitely going to be, well, we're still at Cat 1 technically. So decision altitude is 189 feet. So let's see, that's radio. Let's put this on. That went the wrong way. Oop, too much. So we'll call it 200 feet even for, is that? Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That shouldn't go up in tens for the baro. It should go up in ones, and it should go up in tens for the radio, right? Okay, so let's put the radio altimeter at 200 feet then, and that'll get us where we need to be. And you can just barely see it up top there. There we go, 189 feet. I'll show it to you on this one here if it shows up. It does not, of course. So 189 feet on the radio altimeter, and we're going to be making a sharp turn here pretty quick. So let's throw in some flaps, and let's take over the speed here. So we're going to be looking at, I want to bring that speed down to 180, because that's going to be a tight turn, and it's coming up fast. So I'm going to throw some spoilers out there. Next setting of flaps. Yeah, because we're going to be on this really quick, you guys. Let's arm the localizer. Boy, that came up fast, didn't it? Now I just have to hope my track IR works properly. Track IR coming on for just a second here. Ah, good, because it's been so long I wasn't sure if it would work properly. Okay, we're slowing down nicely. We're at flaps 5 here. Let's go to flaps 10. Bring those spoilers back up, and we should be able to arm them now. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. Just waiting to grab that localizer. The aircraft turned in a little tight in my opinion. Let's bring the speed up just a hair so we're at the flaps 10 speed here. We don't want to drop too low. And there's another aircraft cutting in front of us, of course. Big surprise there. Do need those that auto throttle to kick in and bring that speed up. What is going on with my throttles here? I've had that happen a few times now. There we go. I need the auto throttle to do its job here. There we go. Kick in. Coming up on transition altitude here. We still haven't grabbed the localizer. There it is. Let's go ahead and hit the approach switch. Alright, now we're looking a little bit better here. Auto throttles are working the way they should. Alright, let's take a look at our final approach checklist here. We can't because we're not ready for the final approach yet. Let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit more. So it's 165 is what we need to get to. Let's get the gear down. Flaps to the next, down to 20. This came up quick, didn't it? Goodness. Okay, transition altitude, we've passed it.
2,500.
There's 2,500. Next setting of flaps coming in. Let's get down to 165. And let's go full flaps. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one, guys. Okay, final approach checklist. Localizer's been captured. Landing gear is down. Flaps are set. Speed brake is armed. And glide slope has not been captured yet. Missed approach altitude is 2,000 feet. That's already programmed in here, so we're looking good on that. But we are way above the glide slope. We're not going to make this. I can just about guarantee we're not going to make this. Yeah, look, we're above the glide slope right now. Okay, so what's the missed approach on this? We haven't done a missed approach in a while, right? It's climb on track 058 to 2,000 feet. Inform ATC immediately. So we're already on track 058, so let's just hold that. And we're going to hold 2,000 feet. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start bringing that speed back up a little bit. So let's get up to 180 first. Let's get the, well, we can't bring the gear up. Sorry, yeah, because you're going to get that config gear warning. Can't bring the gear up until you get the flaps up a little ways. So we're going to climb straight ahead here. because I mean you can just barely make out the ground, and we were way too high. We were way too high for our approach there. I don't know why the aircraft was so high, but not much I could do about that. Alright, we can bring the speed up a little more. Let's bring it up to the flaps 5 here. And we will settle it, let's settle at 210. Now we would inform ATC, but of course we don't have any ATC. ARM MCP approach mode. We can't, doofus. Alright, let's go to flaps 5, and what we need to do is we need to set up for this approach again, right? So let's go in here and let's go departure arrival. We don't need, we need to erase that. We just need the approach right now. And the transition thing is driving me nuts here. We're not going to do a transition on this. We're gonna just leave it at the ILS runway 6. All right. Reset MCP altitude. I get it. All right. So what's going on right now, you guys? If I hit the center switch here, should be able to see it. So it's reset the approach for us. Alright, so what we need to do right now is we need to swing back around, and let me just zoom this out a little bit. So basically we need to go in a circle. So let's set our, there we go, and then select mode. So we are definitely still pretty low. So looking at the approach though, at 6.2 nautical miles, we're supposed to be at 2,000 feet, right? So if we look at our legs page here, C106 is where we're supposed to be at 2,000 feet. If you pop this up, that's our first dealio there. Now what I want to do real quick is let's pull up our terrain and just make sure we're not going to run into anything. And it looks like we're going to be pretty good to go. Check our initial reference. So it does have us coming down by 1 knot. We'll take it. And it might even be a little more here shortly, but... Alright, so we haven't done very many missed approaches on this channel. Usually we stick it out and go for it anyway, but yeah, it's been a long flight, and I've been a little bit of a mess anyway, and I absolutely do not want to have a problem on this approach. So now at this point I'm going to go ahead and hit the hold, and then I'll set our come on brain function, I'll set us for the back course here, 237, it should be 238 I think, yep. And we'll just fly here for just a minute, just so that we have a little room to work with. We don't want to have to make a really tight turn or 2 really tight turns. Our gear is still down, isn't it? Let's bring the gear up, get rid of a little of that drag. So what you see here is I'm just setting up a, you know, again, if you had ATC would be giving us vectors right now, right? But we don't have ATC, so we don't have any vectors. You see there's just a bit of terrain out here. Let's go ahead and let's make that turn now. Just hit select and it'll start the turn. We definitely don't want to be running into anything. And again, this is where ATC would be really handy. So this is making the approach really long. I hope you guys don't mind staying with me here. If it gets too crazy, I can always just cut a little bit of it out. But we really need to make sure we're at 2,000 feet when we get to 6.2 here, which is the first waypoint at CI1 or CI06. And we're at 2,000 now, so I want to hold 2,000 as long as I can. And we should come out of the clouds not long after we hit the glide slope. But again, we just want to make sure that you know, we're not playing games with this, right? So I've been you know, I've done a lot of, there's been a lot of times where I probably should have executed a missed approach and I didn't. And you know, I'm really trying to get out of those kind of habits, right? We want to do things properly. There was no way we were going to make that. Well, let me rephrase. Could I have landed it? Yeah, I probably could have, but we can't even see the runway, right? We're at 2,000 feet. and we've barely got visibility, right? And several miles out from the runway, you can't see that. So it is still a Cat 1 ILS, but we're in the cloud right now. We don't have good visibility. So not being able to intercept the glide slope, the best option, of course, was to execute a missed approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fly this out a little beyond here, and then I'm going to turn back and we're going to execute the approach again. I'm not going to make you sit here while I go through that, so I'll bring you back on as we start making the turn here. Alright, just a few minutes have passed here. You can see I've already preset the heading for the next turn. We're going to go ahead and execute that now by hitting select. And I gave us about an 8-mile berth from the runway center line. So that's definitely helpful. Now as we're making this turn here, we can go ahead and whoa, there was a little turbulence there. Look at that. We can go ahead and reset our map mode here. Brain still doesn't want to function. So we can go back here and you can see, let's zoom this down a little bit. This gives us a little bit clearer picture. So you can see we're just a little over 5 nautical miles from the runway center line there. And I've given us a little bit of room to work with. And what we're going to do here is, as we get a little closer, once we get on this track, we'll go back to the hold mode so we can preset our intercept course. And it looks like the clouds are moving up just a little bit. So there's 148. Let's hit hold. And then our intercept, we don't want it to be too steep, right? It's going to be, it's going to take us probably 2 miles to make the turn. There's a way to calculate that, but I'm not going to do it right now. I don't even know the calculation off the top of my head. Probably something I should know. But we want to come in at a relatively shallow angle, so I'm basically just looking for a good intersection on this guy here. And we'll probably come in a little bit tighter turn there. And that just gives us, I just want a little room to work with out here, right? So when I turn in, I want to be able to intercept the localizer relatively quickly, but you don't want to intercept the localizer from 90 degrees. That's just bad op. So right now we look at this, so there's 5, that's about 2.5 miles. We'll start our turn here in just a second. And there we go, let's start the turn. Arm the localizer. Alright. And we're at flaps 10, 210 knots right now. So there you go, grab the localizer on its own already. And that's okay because we were already into the turn, but a lot of times if you try to grab a localizer from 90 degrees, you're probably going to miss it. Alright, so glide slope is armed now. And we still have a little ways to go. It's not going to just, I mean, we're not right on top of it. If we look at our progress, we're actually 9 miles from touchdown, right? So we're a little further than that, aren't we? I guess that's about right. No, we're a little further than that. I don't know why it shows 9 miles from top of descent on there. That TD wasn't touchdown. My bad. Alright, so we still got all the clouds, obviously. So you can see our little diamond up here. So we're definitely below the glide slope right now. That's actually where we want to be. Now let's go ahead and let's bring our speed down here. Bring it down to where our flaps 10 setting is. And then when we get close to it, let's bring the gear down in the next setting and flaps in. So we're shooting for 164, gear down, and flaps 20. There we go. Looking good. Watching for that diamond to move. Now, typically, you don't, depending on the operating procedure for the airline, a lot of airlines, I guess they don't go gear down until they're on glide slope, but we already missed it once, and I want to be set up nice and early. So, because we really can't afford to miss it twice, can we? But we should see it moving here very shortly, because again, we're supposed to be 2,000 feet at CI06, and we're already at 2,000 feet, and that's supposed to be glide slope intercept. So honestly, I'm surprised it's not moving already, but we're still below it, so we should intercept it. I don't even know how we missed it the first time. I thought we got down quick enough. A little bit crazy on that one. But anyway, we got the gear down. We're at flaps 20 right now. Aircraft's just kind of fighting with holding the speed a little bit here. We can turn the weather radar off. Nah, we better leave it on. Better leave it on. There's the diamond moving. I've actually hit what do you call it? Oh, I can't think of the name of it right now. It'll come to me. A microburst. There we go. I've actually hit a microburst in this simulator before. So, all right. As soon as we capture the glide slope, what I want to do is bring our speed down to 164 and bring in the rest of the flaps. So, just waiting on that glide slope, which we'll be capturing here shortly. Approach mode is already armed. All three of the autopilots are on, which means we could fly, we could auto land at this point if we needed to. So we'll see how this weather's holding out. I mean, it's been almost 30 minutes since our missed approach. All right, there's glide slope capture there. Let's go ahead and bring that speed down a little more. Next setting of flaps coming in. And then bring it all the way to 164 and bring in that final setting of flaps. We ended up just a little above glide slope there, but you can see, I mean, there's no way we could have done this manually. We can't see anything. This is why we have this system, right? Okay, we got full flaps. Let's take a look at our final approach checklist once again. Glide slope has been captured. Landing gear is down. Flaps are set to 30. Speed brake is armed. Glide slope is captured as well. And the missed approach altitude, in case we got to do it all again, is in the MCP there. You can see land 3 is armed as well, so it will fly all the way in if it needs to. So let's get the proper view here. Let's get that mouse out of the way for the moment, and track IR coming on a little jump. There we go. Still no visual on the runway, and we're very close to it. We're only a couple miles out now. So we may just let this auto land at this point because you just can't see it. And if we can't see the runway, we can't land the aircraft. And we're below 1,000 feet at this point, guys. I mean, if you look right there, we're at 760 feet AGL.
0, 6.
Okay, I can just make out the approach lights. You see them right here. All right, this is our approach lighting system. But you still can't see it very clearly yet. The clouds are just so thick, right?
500.
So,
500.
You know what? I think we're good now. Yep, let's take... Wow, why is it so choppy?
400.
Let's turn the traffic off. I don't know why it was so choppy there. Alright, let's go visual at this point.
300. Approaching minimums.
Landing. Get down there.
200 minimums.
Come on, get down there. Get down there. It's too high.
100. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 30, 10, 5, 20.
Come on. There we go. Minus 117 feet per minute. There's that reverse thrust coming in. That was actually a really good landing. I don't know why it got so choppy all of a sudden. Did you guys see that? I don't know if it's just the weather and the traffic. There's 80 knots. Turn the reverse thrust off. Manual braking on.
3,000 feet remaining.
Nice and easy. There we go. We'll just kind of coast down here a little bit. Okay. So the landing ended up not being too bad, right? Let me, I need to switch to my map over here because I need to see where we're going. I should have taken that exit there. I'm trying to do two things at once. That's right. We'll take the next exit. No big deal. Okay. Alright, what do you guys think? Not too bad, right? Let's go ahead and start cleaning up. Get those flaps up. Spoilers are down at this point. Alright, nice and slow for the turn here. Let's get around the corner and then we'll take a look. I'll take a look at where we're going here first of all. And we'll take care of this after landing checklist. Keep in mind we're still pretty heavy. Okay, so just bring her to a nice easy stop here. Turn track R off for a second. As you can probably see, this is default scenery, but it's mixed in with the with some of the come on, brain work. It's mixed in with some of the Fly Tampa scenery, like the you've got the KLM hangars and stuff over here. So it's really weird the way it's set up. But anyway, just trying to take a look over here on my... Oh yeah, I switched, that's why, that was dumb. Okay, so we should be going down to Alpha 1A. You know what, let's do this. We'll do the after landing checklist here in just a second. Let me get GSX in here, and let's see if we can actually find a parking space with them. It's not a gate. Still not a gate. 4 suitable parkings, that's where we want. Now we'll see if this even works. Oh, there's the rain. Did it just start? Too small, too small, too small. Everything's too small. I hate GSX sometimes. Alright, we're going to turn that off. Let's take care of our after landing checklist. Spoilers are up. Auto brakes need to be in the off position now. There we go. Landing lights. Oh, we didn't turn those off as we came off the runway. Oh, I gotta... Hold on a second. I got a kitten who keeps sneaking in here. And he's cute and cuddly. But he doesn't understand that you can't chew on wires. So I had to throw him out real quick. Okay, I didn't turn the landing lights off. Let's get those off. Boy, the 20 frames per second is just crazy to me. I don't know why it's at 20 frames per second. Get that strobe light off. Come on, turn off. Goodness gracious. APU on. Even at, like, even here at, you know, 20 frames per second, it should be a little smoother than it is. It's a little frustrating how it's acting. Auto throttle, disarmed, flight directors can go off. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it gives you a warning for that while you're on the ground. And what else we got here? Oh, TCAS. TCAS can go to transponder mode now. 2 clicks over. Weather radar needs to be turned off. And that is it. Okay, so that takes care of our after landing checklist. I'm going to get us taxied in and set up, and then I'll customize the airport position for GSX, and then we'll come back on and do our shutdown. Alrighty folks, we got her parked here, and wouldn't you know it, when I went into the GSX settings, this parking space is plenty large enough. Yeah, so you know what, I'm going to double check it real quick. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So if you go in here to GSX, customize airport positions, the wingspan is 100 meters is allowed, and if I click on this, it's going to change that to 69, right? So obviously this parking space is plenty large for our aircraft. So I don't know why GSX wouldn't even give me that as an option, but it didn't. So anyway, our APU is up and running. Let's just make sure we've got our APU gens on. Just turn one of them on because we don't need them both. We're going to use the other gen to open the cargo door, the nose cargo. Turn the windshield wipers off. Now let's go ahead and shut down the engines. And as soon as we do that, we can call for GSX. Previous. We don't want boarding. We want deboarding. Still previous. Request deboarding. There we go. Alright, that should load all of them in. We'll jump down here real quick and go to FS Actions, Ground Connections. Let's set the chocks. Request the ground power. And then go back here to service vehicles and okay, why are they in a different order here? Request the nose cargo, and then go back one more time and let's get some doors open so entry 1 can open up. Whoops, we need to stay on doors. Wrong one. Next page. Open the nose cargo, open the side cargo, forward, aft, and bulk. And you'll see that nose cargo door opening up here, I think, momentarily. I can hear it. There it is. Just took its sweet time coming up. Let's take a look at our shutdown checklist here. Parking brake is set. We don't need to contact ATC. APU Gen 1 and 2, we've got Gen 1 on. APU bleed needs to be on, which it is. Engine hydraulic, or engine bleed needs to go off. So that is these 4 here. We can put all 4 of those off now. And then engine hydraulic pumps off. I kind of don't like the way that's that's just weird to me, the way they, because you got the demand pumps here and then the engine pumps. So I don't know which one they're talking about on this checklist. But it is what it is. That's fine. Let's come down here. Seatbelt sign can go off at this point. What else we got? Doors are open. Gangway set. Beacon light can go off at this point. Come on. There it is. Beacon light off. Wing light off. Logo light off. And we're good on that. Ground power on if available. It is. Go external power 1. Now we can turn the APU off. Let's make sure that it brought over the air cart as well. Ground connections, air conditioning unit. It did not. So we'll bring that over. APU is off. And then at this point, it's really just kind of turning everything off. Yaw dampers go off. Hydraulic demand switches go off. That's these 4 down here. This is really kind of taken to cold and dark. There is no continuous ignition on this one or auto start. IRS systems can go off. Click them, left click them twice. I wonder why they turn so slow between nav and align. That's interesting. All the fuel pumps can go off. There we go. Window heat can go off. And what else? Recirc fans. We don't have recirc fans on this one. Does trim air go off? Trim air goes off as well. And packs 1 through 3 can all go off. We're going to leave those on because we're not going to go to cold and dark right now. And so that's going to complete our shutdown, and that's going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. A long flight. You know what, there is one more thing we need to do here. Let's bring our A cars over. There you have it. Landing rate of minus 116. We'll stop the flight at this point. PyRep is ready. And you can see our total flight time was 10 hours and 9 minutes. We were scheduled for 10 hours and 6 minutes. So we were right on time with that, and that was a long flight. Now for some reason, and I don't know if it's the way the tour was set up or what, but it wouldn't let me load cargo on this. So I guess it was designed to be a passenger flight. It is what it is. I did use that auto pause feature because, quite frankly, I was asleep when this thing finally got close enough to descend. So that's why I was such a soup sandwich when we started our descent procedures. But that feature is really handy in our A-car system. So if you fly for Mac Air and you're doing a tour like this and you have to go to bed, you can set it to auto pause and you'll be good to go. So that worked out fantastic. But other than that, it was a good flight all around. Let's file the pilot report. There we go. It's been filed. We can close out our A-cars. Yes, I'm sure. And as we watch them unload the cargo, we are going to finish out this flight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really did. I thought this was cool. I'm really looking forward to a couple of the really crazy long ones, because even though I was in bed by the time this got to top of descent, I stuck it out for a solid 7 hours of this flight, and then I couldn't stay awake anymore. I had to go to bed. So I do have a question for you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Here's the question. We got a couple flights that are over 9,000 nautical miles, and I'm going to make videos out of those. However, would you be interested in the cruise phase being live streamed? I wouldn't be on there. I wouldn't be doing it or talking or doing anything. It would just be the aircraft in cruise going through different cinematic views. Might be kind of boring, but you guys let me know if that's something you might be interested in. If you haven't already done so, please take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. We're at near 8,500 subscribers right now, and if we get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, we are going to do some sort of giveaway. I have decided that the way I'm going to do this is, if we start getting close, then I will look at some possible giveaway options and I'll put it up for a vote. And then the way it'll work is it will be a random choice amongst all of my subscribers who receives whatever the prize is. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, so I hope that you did too. That lets me know I'm doing a good job as far as my video content is concerned. And if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. That's fine, but please give me some type of constructive yet kind and polite criticism down in the comments so that I can do a better job in the future. That's it. That's all and no more, folks. Until next time, as always, keep the blue side up unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all, and have an absolutely wonderful day.